Okay, hi, my name's Gloria, and this is Linda.
Linda.
And we just wanted to have like a quick discussion about relationships, mainly like female and male relationships, because that's mainly what we know a bit about.
We know a bit,
Well, we don't really know, but we've done like background research. I'm sure we've watched podcasts, read articles. Yeah.
Well, I've not done any research, but I guess I've seen, I'll say, objective experience based on, my friends and what I've seen.
Yeah. Also, yeah, what I've seen and like basically trial and error from other people. Like other people have been the experiment, and I've just seen their trial and errors, basically, kind of, not in a mean way, but yeah.
Yeah, I think they get you. So,
Yeah.
what's the topic?
Um.
Saying like I'm gonna give birth, sorry.
Just mainly like what would you take from a relationship? So like everyone knows all the bad habits that they no everyone knows all the good habits they want. Like they want a caring guy, or maybe they don't. They want a thug. Okay, the topic is gonna be if you would if you were gonna get cheated, would you prefer if the guy would quote unquote respectfully cheat, so like cheat and hide it from you and you'd never know, you'd be oblivious, or he just cheats right in front of your face? He's like, I don't care, you can stay if you want, like you knew how I was, baby girl type of thing.
Baby girl.
Baby girl. So yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, my view on it is that cheating is cheating, so it shouldn't be an option where it's like, would you prefer, No one wants to be cheated, so it shouldn't be an option. But I think if it was my situation, that I'll probably want someone that will do it behind my back. Because I'd rather do it behind my back and later when I find out and then be like, okay, this is the receipt. So, bye. Whereas if the person's doing it in front of your face, it's like, what can you... You can't resolve it, right? Cause
Yeah,
the
but
person,
you can leave. You can leave.
No, I mean, like, you can't... Yeah, that's true,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can... Yeah, you can leave, but I feel like you just you feel more disgusting.
You do.
You feel more disgusting.
I feel like with that case, I'm just gonna jump in. I feel like with that case, like if the guy is like cheating in front of your face, he's like, "Oh, take me if you want, stay if you want." Like, I don't care. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't value you. He doesn't care, and he just wants to do what he wants to do. He basically wants to get rid of you. Like it's a reason for him to like get rid of you. And then like if you leave, he's like, "Oh yeah, I basically got rid of this girl." And if you don't leave, he gets like some of the benefits from you, or he'll just treat you like dirt. And also with that question, I don't like it, because like, to be honest, I wouldn't want him to cheat on me. But like if he did cheat, I would want to leave. I wouldn't want, but like if I had to choose, I guess maybe I don't even want to give an answer, but I guess I'd have to say that maybe I'd want him to do behind my back. And then I want to find out. That's the main point I'm trying to make. I want to find out and I want to leave. If he's like just rubbing it in my face, like salt in a wound, then he's just disgusting to me.
Yeah, so it's much better if... Well, it's not much better, but you rather find out,
Yeah.
Behind. Yeah, because if a guy is cheating, doing it, and then, not even rubbing in front of your face, but he just doesn't care, then it's like, you better leave, because it's not like he's going to care, 10 years time, or once you've cheated, that's it. Some girls, sometimes when they feel cheated on, they feel like, oh yeah, maybe, maybe I can solve this problem, because maybe there's something that, I'm not... No, it's not. It's something. There's something that obviously he's... I want... No, that, he wants that he's not getting from me, that's why. But some guys or girls are just... It's just how they are, You can give them the whole world and they'll leave it, so you shouldn't feel bad.
I want to say maybe the guy just never wanted you.
Guy or girl.
Oh, yeah, guy or girl, could be any. Maybe the person, universal here, maybe the person just never wanted you. And then maybe...
You mean from the beginning, or...?
Yeah, from the get-go. Yeah, from the beginning, because like maybe, scenario here, maybe the person was like, the first person was like really into another person, So person A was really into person B. Person B wasn't feeling it like that. But then person B was around, and then person A was like, let's just take this person for now. And then they just bored of you. They never wanted you. They never pursued you. They never made an effort. They never made an effort, so they know they don't need to make an effort to keep you around. And they're bored and they don't care. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be any reason, but whatever the reason is, it's not something you can resolve,
Yeah.
and you shouldn't. Some girls or boys, they're very like not socially pressured, sometimes culturally pressured, because some cultures they think, oh, just stay with him. If you leave your husband, then
You're a disgrace.
It's going to be a disgrace to to this family or to this. But for someone to say that to you, that person also does not care about you.
Yeah, they don't care.
They
just
don't care.
Images. It's just the image. They're like, oh my days, I just don't want to hide away from Sally Sue in the supermarket at the grocery store. That's
So basically,
just
they're
what it
saying,
is.
okay, die as long as it's okay for you to die.
In honor, that whole dying for honor thing.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. Like in some cultures. Like I've heard in the military, like I've heard something like in the military somewhere, like in Japan, in maybe this is wrong, I don't know, in like the early 90s or something, or late 90s, like when they would go to war, and like maybe the whole troop would die, and like maybe the sergeant is alive, or maybe someone is alive, then they'll be expected to like kill themselves for honor or something.
Oh, really?
I know something about killing yourself for honor. I know people do that in cultures.
Know about that. But I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Talking about culture, I really hate cultures.
Yeah, but like even like what is culture? Is it habits? Is it the history? Is it the people with the habits, with the history, with our certain foods from our countries?
For me, I see culture as a system, right? A system that gives you a certain,
Limitations
a certain service, and you just have to live your life
by those rules.
in that rules, in that service. So because it's a service, it's not about the people, it's about
image.
Yeah, it's about the image, it's about pride, it's about traditions, right? Like certain cultures quite like they will like marry like a little girl to like an old man, because it's all so twisted, very twisted, and also giving the example of if someone cheats on you, some cultures they'll even some in India,
that's what I was
if
thinking.
a girl gets raped, the girl
is the problem.
Yeah, the girl's the problem.
For
not
even
the man.
speaking
It's
up, like, why did you even talk for? Why did you even have to disgrace our family? Maybe the man disgraced you guys when he decided to do that silly thing. Yeah, you never thought about that, did you?
They'll cover the man up.
Yeah.
And then there's the woman, like, oh yeah, why'd
you speak up for? Why were you wearing that loose skirt? It wasn't even a tight skirt. It wasn't even anything. She could be wearing a whole hoodie, jumper, wearing a hat, and it happened. Anything.
Yeah, so it's two sides. There are cases where it's like, if I'm gonna walk around naked, I shouldn't be surprised if a guy, or even if a lesbian, be like, hey girl, or like treats me in a certain way, because you expect that to happen, right?
Yeah, but like even thinking about that whole like dress, all my days, like even that whole dressing, thinking about what you're dressing, I agree with that to a certain extent. Like, if I was going around and I was naked, like, theoretically, I wouldn't want anyone. Yeah, they'll be looking at me because they're like, this girl's naked. But like, I wouldn't expect anyone to be touching me, because you shouldn't touch anyone without permission. If a guy was naked, would a woman just like stick out her hand and then just grab him? No. So why is it acceptable? And we think, oh yeah, we know that if we do this, a guy's gonna do it. But like, if a woman did the same thing, it would be weird.
No, I think like sometimes women are too, like, if you are going naked, I think it's got nothing to do with whether you're a boy or girl or blah blah. It's like you should expect that to happen to you.
But why? Why should I expect
that's
someone
how
to touch
human
me?
beings-
They will
the
look.
same-
I expect them to be curious,
No,
but like
it's
to
the
touch, that's weird.
No, it's the same. I feel like sometimes women we do certain things, and then if like
We rub things in people's faces and
no, like you do something, and then you use the word like, oh yeah, I'm a woman to cover what you're doing. Like for example, so what if we flip it around? Why is it that women, when a guy takes off their top, right?
we were like, woo, whistling, woohoo.
Or like some women they'll
rub his abs.
Yeah. Or like they'll touch
They're
their
like,
legs.
ooh, he's a this and that. I don't know what people say.
So if they do that, right, maybe the guy's not even comfortable.
I
with
know.
that.
I always think about that.
Right,
You know, all
but
the
then
time.
Because quote the guy, they're supposed to
Take it just because.
Right, so-
That's just a woman.
but then if
she's not gonna harm
But
you.
if a guy, right, if a girl was wearing booty shorts and a guy went, they'll be like, hey, sexual harassment.
Yeah, but that is
it's
weird.
the same case.
Okay, that wasn't the same case, but like if I'm gonna do the same case, okay, so like, yeah, but even for women and men examples, there is no same case thing.
It's not the
There's
same
nothing
case,
you
but
can compare
if
it
you
that's the same.
define what is sexual harassment, what is
It's
sexual-
touching someone unwantedly, and
Right.
yeah,
So
I feel
why-
like women casually do that,
so why-
and
yeah.
men can't really say much about it because it's like, oh, but you know, she just it's playful, you know.
I
it's a
feel
little
like
bit of this and that.
yeah, sometimes the rules are not
Ben,
fair.
I feel like
yeah,
that as
I feel
well.
like the
I
rules
agree
are
with that.
much like for example, there are lots of guys who are in relationships that are being abused by the girl. But then it's like if the guy feels like probably they can't even do anything about because they'll be like, oh yeah, why you're a guy?
Stand
You
up
coulda
for
just said
yourself.
something.
You can overpower
You're being too
Soft.
weak. But then the girl's there like sabotaging the guy, manipulating. So I feel like the rules should be on both ends.
Yeah, it should be maybe similar or maybe the same. That's the thing we need to decide. Do we want our standards for men and women to be the same, or do we want it to be similar?
Because then, if you think about it, people say, oh, equality, right? But I feel like equality is just so
Subjective.
There can be I don't think in this world we can never have equality.
I think what we need to do is, if there is like one of the genders, like maybe women, so maybe the women are like here. So like, let's talk about the workplace. Maybe a woman, she knows, she could, if she gets pregnant, she's gonna fall behind on promotions and all that. She might be expected, or she might decide that she wants to like stay at home for a year. Now she's behind compared to her fellow male co-workers, and now, so like, that has already put her behind. So like, maybe instead of thinking, yeah, it can actually be equality, we should actually think, okay, because now they're on like two different levels, how can we get the woman to like a similar level to the man, instead of, yeah, whilst considering like her situation. I think that would be more equality than when people are seeing equality, but then like chivalry. People want chivalry at the same time. Like, they want the guy to open the door for them, but then like women aren't really
They wouldn't
expected
want
to
to
like open the door
for the guy.
Yeah, so like
equality
it's,
can
it's,
never
it's,
happen because there's always going to be
it's
someone that wants it.
difficult.
Yeah, it's very subjective depending on what I want. That's how I see it as, oh, this is how you should be equal, but it shouldn't be. I don't think it should be. It should be like
also,
that.
like, if you want equality, like, do you want chivalry? Like, if you want equality, do you want, like, if you're like with a partner, do you want everything 50-50? Like, he's paying 50% of the bills, you're paying 50% of the bills. Like, you guys, every single time you go out for a meal, you guys split it 50-50. Everything is 50-50. Do you want that?
For me, that's really boring.
Yeah.
That's really
It's
dead.
not even fun to me.
Yeah, it's dead.
I know.
Like when you go, imagine you go for a nice meal and the guy just pays or the girl
Tough.
just pays. It's like sometimes like it doesn't always have to be.
Yeah, it has to be like this. This is the rule.
Like just chill. Like sometimes enjoy being treated. Enjoy treating each other, not everything. I'm a
By
woman.
force,
I'm an
by
independent
force.
woman. It's like, yeah, you're independent. No one says you're.
Yeah, you're like, I feel like you're allowed to be an independent woman, and then at the same time you're allowed to feel like, oh, I'm being treated.
Now we live in the age where girls are, oh, I want to be a bad bitch. I want to be a bad bitch. And then if a guy is treating them bad, then they're like, oh yeah, why are you treating me like this? But then you're there saying, oh yeah, I'm a bad bitch. I'm an independent boss. Blah,
No,
blah, blah,
it's
blah,
not
blah.
even about the independent thing.
It's like,
It's like, I don't need you, I don't want you.
But then
No.
it's like, be single then.
Yeah, that's true,
I didn't get the whole concept. It's like, be single. What do you
Yeah.
want? Be single.
I think the fundamental roots of the whole thing was like, the whole
People kill it.
mentality was that, oh, I don't like need to be, oh honey, oh please be around me, oh. Like they didn't want to
That's
be
how it's
so
supposed to be like, yeah.
dependent. They wanted to be a bit like, oh.
If you work, I can work.
Yeah,
it's
like,
fine.
oh.
I can take care of myself
Like
as well.
I
It's not
basically
always
trying to.
you.
They wanted to be like, oh, I have a schedule. I can fit you around if I don't want you around. Simple. But now it's become like, oh, I don't like. Why are you even here for?
Yeah, no.
Why are you even talking to me? For? Like, I don't even
So
need you around.
Like, I feel like it makes you so unattractive when
Yeah.
you're there doing like that. It's like, I thought relationship is there to, you have it there to help each other. Like, hey, sweetie, like, let me work so like you can. It's not always you. You know, some girls, they expect the guy to be always working, and then if he's not home, they're like, oh yeah, why you don't spend time with me? Da, da, da. It's like, you have hands as well. But actually, it depends, to be honest. If they have like 7 kids or she has kids to take care of, then it's like, some women really want to work, but it's just like they just have to take care of the kids.
Yeah, and it also depends. Like, even think about. Oh my days! Like, I feel like if you're gonna be with a partner, if you're gonna be with a person, biggest thing is like, do your guys like mindset work the same? Basically, trying to, in other terms, do you have the same morals? Like, are you wanting a traditional man or a non-traditional man, or do you want a mixture of both tradition and non-tradition? And if you even think about that, like, do you want to be the man or the woman that stays at home or full-time, or do you even want to be staying at home part-time? Do you want a nanny? Does your partner want a nanny? Do you want to, like, all these things?
Yeah,
like,
I feel like you guys should like sit down. I feel like sometimes relationship is too light. Oh, I love him. They don't really. You have to think about the practical thing. That's why it breaks, because you don't think about it. Like, as you said, like, you have to think about all these things. If we had kids, like, how are we going to make this work?
How are we going to raise them?
But then there is problems where sometimes you do have to talk, and then when the reality comes, the guy or the girl will be like, oh no, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to, like, they do complete opposite to what they say. So we do have cases, but either way, for me, what I did, I was like, you know what, if I had a guy, I'm so I'm like, I watched this Korean movie where they did, yeah, like, I watched a Korean movie, not a movie, a drama. It's called Marriage Contract. Anyway, just cut it short. Anyway, what they did is, like, they had like a contract, right? And then they said, okay, so this is what our responsibility is. This is what I'll accept. This is what I'll not accept on both ends, right? And then everything in terms of money, you have a contract, right? And then they sit together, they talk about it, and then you sign it, right? So then it's like mutual. Yeah. It's a mutual deal. It's not. Oh yeah,
Sounds a bit like a prenup, to be honest.
Oh yeah, that. But it's not like, it's like you live together, because sometimes it's like, oh yeah, why can't you wash the dishes? Like, why do I always have to wash the dishes? Right?
Petty things. It would. Oh my days, like,
Oh, the little stuff.
I even wanted to speak about this as well. Like, we say what we want, but like, also at the same time, no one wants to be like, oh honey, can you wash the dishes on Tuesday, honey? Can you cook for me, honey? Like, we have silent expectations. Like, if we're hungry, like, oh, I'm hungry, and then we want the guy or the girl to be like, oh, okay, should we eat out? Should we cook? Like, you want that whole babying. Sometimes people want to be taken care of, or they want to take care of the person, and because we have these silent expectations, sometimes we build resentment because we want our partner to like read our mind. We want to be like, oh, I'm hungry. You want them to be like, oh, okay, what do they want? But like, sometimes it's difficult.
Yes, like, it's good to communicate, but it's like, also it's like, sometimes it's the way you communicate. If you're telling the person, oh yeah, I'm hungry, go and cook for me.
That's weird.
Exactly, I'm not gonna cook, because now it's the way you say it.
Commanding it like some kind of robot or something.
But like, if you say very cute, like, oh,
yeah, I want the cuteness.
What should we
you know?
eat?
Yeah.
Or like someone that's that compromises.
Yeah.
Like they're okay, let's cook something. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make something.
Or I'll clean.
Yeah, not everything has, or like they won't be. It's like they'll clean every time. It doesn't have to be like, oh yeah, I cleaned on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Why can you not clean? It's like,
and then you missed the Tuesday. Honey.
so now you're
The
fighting
dishes
over
are there.
it. Now
You
you're
didn't wash
fighting.
the dishes. It's like, not everything has to be so rigid. I don't want rigidity. I want a bit of flexibility, a bit of compromise, a bit of flow, like water, you know.
Yeah, I think sometimes in the relationship we need to learn to let go, because we're all like individuals. So everyone, we think we're all right? So even also ourselves, sometimes we need to be loose a bit, you know. Sometimes you think it's a joke. You say to the person, oh yeah, you didn't clean on Tuesday. Why'd you?
But then it's like,
eventually, and then they're gonna do it.
yeah. And then they're like, oh.
And then they're like, oh yeah, but you didn't clean on Thursday. And then it's going to build up. And then they're like, oh yeah, I'm leaving this relationship because there's no spark.
Yeah.
It's like, you have to work on it, right? You have to work on it, you know. It worked in the beginning, so why is it not working now?
Also, maybe there's no spark because you guys are just sitting on the sofa watching TV.
But some people, that's their spark though. That's the little
But
thing.
I don't feel like you can enjoy your life if that's the only thing you're doing.
But that's for you. But some people, it's like they love that staying at home and just eating and just watching stuff. Depends on your relationship. But yeah, I think communication is everything. Whether it's relationship, friendship,
housemate,
anything.
parents, child, anything.
And it's not always what I want.
Co-workers.
Yeah, it's not always what I want from you. It's more like how do I say it? Sometimes the way you speak, how you speak, the way you communicate, your attitude, your energy makes a big difference.
Also, I think what I learned from like communicating with like different types of people who communicate differently from me, and like even me, I wanted to just state my point, like, hi, this is what I need from you, this is what I expect from you. Like, I just said it straight. But then even saying it like that, the person, I don't know, they just don't get it, or they just don't want to do it. Sometimes I feel like actions speak louder than words. So like I would give an example. So like maybe like you want the person to spend more time with you, and then you're like, oh, you're not giving me time, and you keep on repeating it over and over and over and over again. The person, like, that's all they're hearing, and they like, it's like they don't even want to give it to you, or even if they've given it to you, you feel like it's not enough because you know you want a certain amount, and you know they're only giving you a certain amount, and maybe they are giving you what they think from their point of view is a lot. But like, so then maybe that's when you need to decide, oh, maybe this person isn't for me, they can't give me the amount that I want. Or maybe you need a hobby, maybe you need friends, maybe you need something to do with your time. It just, you need to think about what you need.
Yeah, I think also like it's not always about what you need as well. It has to be both ways. It's like, yeah, I want your time, but then how do I feel? Maybe you've got work to do. You know, maybe you have projects that you're working on. So realistically, it doesn't work. I think it's both. It's good to weigh both ends, and then see. Sometimes it's always like me. I want this, I want that, but it's very little that's always about, oh yeah, what about my partner? It's the same vice versa as well.
I also wanted to talk about that. Like, we always think about, this is what I want, this is what I want to say. Even in the argument, I want to say my point. We don't always say, okay, how can I help you make your life easier? Sometimes even doing that, it calms the person down.
Yes, because it's nice.
Yeah, you're in an argument,
sweet.
and then you're like, oh, well, maybe you step back. Sometimes you need to like just breathe. Step back and then be like, oh, how can I help you? Then you're there.
Yeah, they always say like, don't talk when you're angry, because you're just very emotional, very logical. Try it's all emotions, right? Because that your emotions leads to you being so, logical. Okay. Yeah, so it needs to be both ways. Communication. And I think energy's got a lot to do with it as well. If your partner is always moody, always angry, always very defensive and stuff like that.
Not open-minded, not open to change.
Or if you are not, a lot of times it's us, as a person. If you're not open to change, you're very defensive, argumentative, then, there's so much. How is the person supposed to find you attractive after 5 years if you're always on the fence? You need to be able to evaluate yourself every time and change. Because that's the problem with relationship. People argue because, if it's a friendship, you can just easily run away or take space, or you don't have to always see your friend every day. But in a relationship, you're stuck. It's upon your marriage, you're stuck with that person 24/7. So it's like you have to figure out how to make it work.
Not stuck, but it's like you spend loads, like 90% of your time you're at home, and you're at home with this person.
You see them, yeah, every day. 24/7. So yeah, the moral of the story is
communicate, and if your partner cheats, try and have the strength to leave. Yeah, because some of us don't have the strength.
and if you're cheating on your partner, shame on
I was
you.
gonna say that, shame on you.
Shame on your head, your family, your mother. Yeah, and don't take advantage of your, partner. And
Just 'cause you didn't want them.
Don't use excuses like, oh yeah, you didn't give me time. They didn't give you time, but how would you feel if that person did the same thing? At least give them the chance to give you time or talk it out.
Say how you feel. That's a massive one. We don't say how we feel. We just bury it, or we want to do something else. But you need to speak.
Yeah, speaking, and if they don't understand, then that's a big problem. A lot of times, I think these days, a lot of girls or boys that say how they feel. I think sometimes the other partner is so defensive, especially when they feel like, oh, I've done everything for you. They feel like, oh, you're doing for me now. I've done everything. They don't realize that, oh yeah, you could do more. Every day is about growing. Relationship is about growing.
Also, like a big thing I think I learned even from quarantine is that the little, sounds like such a cliche, the little things count. But
Which
like,
is true.
yeah, even little joys. Like I was always trying to plan big fun things, like, oh, I want to paint and I want to roller skate and I want to do this and that, but like every day I was bored out of my mind, and I wanted to like have that motivation to go and do that painting and everything, like, but like maybe if I just did a small hand clapping game with my sister, or I just did a small game? Hand clapping game, like apple sticky makes me icky, some small thing, or like even when we did a small just dance, or just little things that just, I don't know, brings something out of you. You don't always have to like have big gestures, just the little things.
Yeah, that's why these days people think that happiness is a thing, right? They try to look for it in that big job or in that big city, or as you said, painting or whatever it is. But people forget that happiness is with you. Happiness doesn't leave you; it's always with you. And you have to fight for it, because by nature, no one's happy all the time. By nature, everyone is. You start off with and then you go up. So to be happy, you have to fight for it. Which means if you're moody, right, and you meet your friend, you won't bring that moodiness to them because you fight for it, right? That's how it is. Because to be sad, that's given. Because every day, anything can make you sad. Sometimes even nothing can make you sad.
And also like with that whole like bringing your energy to like other people, sometimes what helps me is if I like write out what is in my mind, and then I don't have to rant so much to other people, or else I'll just be ranting every single day because I'm just holding it in, because I know, oh, these people listen to like when I'm upset. So, like I know when I'm upset I'm gonna speak to them, but like sometimes you need to be able to deal with your own ish by yourself and use other people. You can't just depend on one source.
Yeah, you have to sit down, think about it, and even pray about it, because especially when you're sad, you're not in the right frame. That's why sometimes it's good to speak. It's always good to speak to people, but if you're in that state, sometimes you don't even want to accept anything. You're not sober, and then you end up just being defensive when the person gives you advice, or you keep, I don't know, it doesn't sink in well until a month later or something. You're like, oh yeah, what you said it banged.
Or you'll just be like overspilling. You even, oh my days, I don't even want to go there, but like you even start going into childhood trauma. Like this is why, like, oh, I just feel so hurt because when I was a young child, my parents didn't listen to me, and I always had to speak up. And then that's when you're going deep.
Yeah, which is good, because you always need that one person that you open up to. You can't keep all these stuff to yourself, and sometimes just speaking about it, it helps release everything. So it's good, but it's just knowing,
You can't
don't
burden
don't put your burden
everything
on people, because not everyone can carry your weight, because they've got a weight to carry as well. So it's not fair on them. So I always believe that, you know, at least everyone needs a counselor. Everyone needs whether you're the happiest person on earth or the baddest person, everyone needs a counselor. Even in a relationship, I feel like everyone, sometimes they want to do like couple therapy, but I think it's really important to have individual therapy as well. Because even though you're a couple, there's certain things which you may or may not tell your partner, or like, you know, sometimes if you're moody or blah blah blah, like, it's like not everything you could give to your partner, and then you need that external person where you can clear your mind and just start fresh again. So I think it's important. Everyone needs a therapy.
Even speaking about that, I feel like therapy works, like, even it works well when you have someone you trust. But like, I feel like it really helps, like, if you're a younger person and you speak to someone who's older, and they just seem so wise and they listen to you, and then they'll give their little piece of information. They do interrupt you sometimes a lot, but like, they would like listen, and they're not like your friends. They're not here to butter you up. Like, they'll actually give their true opinion, and then you actually take it or you leave it or you go to someone else.
Yeah, that also. Yeah, I think it's always important to pray is a key thing to everything. Because only the Lord knows. So every time, you know, just pray, Lord, give me that one person that I can open up to and tell everything to, and vice versa, where they can do as well, you know. And then He always gives you that person that has the capacity, because everyone's got certain capacity. You know, just because that person's your mom doesn't mean they have that capacity. Or sometimes they'll give you advice based on what they did, or even sometimes they've never done it before. But then, you know, it's different. Sometimes the person has the best interest for you and they love you, but there's so much they can understand, right? So it's always important to just pray and the Lord will give you someone. Yeah.
I think that's all for today, guys.
Yeah, I'm cold.
Yeah, and my throat is burning.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Yeah, if I talk for too long, my throat kills. Okay. See you guys.